I want to share from my heart about Help LA. It's important to mention what it is. It started as an initiative last year, and now it's officially a 501(c) under fiscal sponsorship with Nonviolence New York, which is an international organization. I'm very proud of that process and excited, and there's people in the room here today that helped me with that process a lot, and I thank them. Because all of you are here today on a beautiful Sunday and you could have been doing so many other things and you decided to be here, that tells me that you're the type of people who choose connection over autonomy. There's nothing wrong with wanting to be autonomous, and a lot of us do see our ability to achieve in conflict with our ability to show up and help other people and get involved, right? Because when you're involved in a community, the best word that goes along with that is compromise. So working with other people means that you have to work with yourself, you have to be uncomfortable, you have to be disagreed with, you have to talk things out, you have to work it out to move forward. But what we know now is that when you choose autonomy over connection, it might make you feel good in the short term, but in the long term it leads to loneliness and depression. We're all in Los Angeles, which means that at some point you've faced adversity that has made you think about leaving. I would think that would apply to everyone in this room, but you didn't leave. So I think that's wonderful, because that means that when you went through that process, you had to recommit to Los Angeles County and the cities that you're a part of. So I'd like to introduce our first award recipient. She is a woman who, when you talk about autonomy over connection, she embodies this because she moved to Los Angeles to become an actress. And she was on her journey 40 years ago, but through that process, she was being who she is and following her heart. She just started getting involved because that's who she is. And she started getting involved with her apartment and her condo and like the matters, with neighbors. Like these are all the things that happen when you're working with other people. And that led her to get involved with planning for a new city, which ended up becoming what we call today West Hollywood. She probably didn't know at that time that she would become the mayor of West Hollywood 5 times and become a huge cornerstone in our community. And the work that she does, I would be up here all day if I read it, but we would like to bring up Abbe now and give her this award for 4 decades of civic and nonprofit leadership, enhancing the lives of women and girls.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Oh, turn it around.
Let's have it correct.
Okay, we're gonna take a picture. Okay, and now Abbe.
Thank you. Thank you so, so much for this. This is so great. And what an amazing room of people. And I am so humbled to be getting this honor when I know of the amazing folks that are being honored today. So thank you. I just want to build on everything you said. This is March. It is Women's History Month. And it's so important that we always show up and that we remember our history, because we have to keep moving forward, because oftentimes people want to push us back. And right now here, when you started Help LA last year, you had no idea what was coming. You did not know about the fires that have just, devastated so much of Los Angeles. You didn't know about the chaos that was coming from Washington, D.C. You didn't know about the fact that just last week they announced the city of Los Angeles has $1 billion deficit. You didn't know that. And the other 87 cities in the Los Angeles County, a lot of them are going to be facing really challenging budgets. So good for you. We really should take her to the horse track, and really build that money. But you didn't know, and you took a leap. And I just want to really inspire all of you to take the leap. When I came here a while ago, I came to be an actress. Truth was, I was not very good as an actress. Thank goodness, because I found something else. And all my life I've wanted to do things, and I never really thought about it, but I realized, I have a mission. My personal mission is to make the world fair, to make it equitable and just for everyone. And when I live my mission, it's really helped me make all the decisions in my life, you know, to fight for affordable housing, to fight for health care, to fight to make sure women have the right to choose, for making sure that it's equal for everybody. So I encourage you all, think about what your mission is. What is your what? You want to make a difference. Don't be afraid to try. Don't be afraid to get involved. And I want to make a little plug for local government, because that's really where the rubber hits the road. So think about it, and I'm not here to shame anyone, but think about, do you actually know who your council member is, who your mayor is? Did you actually vote last time? That's like, if you do nothing else, figure those things out, because really and truly, each one of us can make a difference. You can make a difference locally. You can make a difference by joining Help LA. You can make a difference by figuring out where your passion is. What is your mission? And when you keep focusing on what your mission is, it'll get you through those hard times. It'll propel you in the good times. And it'll help you really know that you make a difference in life. Thank you so, so much for this award. I really, really appreciate it.
Okay, our next award recipient is a woman who, when she talks about what she does, she'll tell you she's a divorce attorney, that she's a family advocate. No, it's Stacy. And she might talk about her work with public counsel, which is a proud accomplishment that she's doing now. But what I know about her is that she is an incredible genius of community organizing. And she actually runs her own community, but I don't think she calls it that. But correct me if I'm wrong. And I've been to many of her events. She has the most accomplished people. She's brought together many of the people that are here today. I have to give her credit. So please welcome Stacy Phillips.
GPN and Help LA is proudly give you this award for heart-centered leadership in community building and unwavering dedication to empowering others. Thank you.
Can you hear me? Okay. So I'm actually here, first and foremost, to honor my friends, Kate and Huda, and all the other awardees today. But really, it is all about community. And it started, Abbe and I go back 36 years. Just put this in perspective. I was sitting on the board of Affordable Living for the Aging, had a different name back then. I was 8 months pregnant, and we had a initiative in front of the West Hollywood City Council. And I was asked by the founder of ALA, I later became the chair of the board, but I was just a normal board member, to please go to this meeting so that we had enough people to look at them so that they voted our way. So there I was, 8 months pregnant, sitting there for 4 hours. Did I want to be there? No. But look, I met somebody I've known for 36 years. I mean, who would have thunk? So I was raised with certain values that if you do well, you have to do good. And my grandfather died just before I turned 1. But my parents very much kept him alive in the way they raised my brother and me. And one of my grandfather's favorite Yiddish expressions was "ish pach nicht," which means it wouldn't be right, it wouldn't be fitting. And that's how I conduct my life. Now, I'm a divorce lawyer. Yes, that's what I do for a living. But I prefer to put people together and to build community. Whether it is the Adopt a Center program I started at my prior law firm, Phillips Lerner, before I moved it almost 9 years ago into Blank Rome, our Adopt a Center program, which adopts a different local nonprofit taking care of children and families each year. And I have Jade sitting there from C5LA, who has been our adoptee. Here are some of the things we've done with these kids. Think Shark Tank, putting a business plan together for sophomores. Think career days for 12-year-olds. Think taking kids who have never been to the Hollywood Bowl to Hairspray. And one little girl at the intermission said, "Is it over?" And I said, "No, we have a whole nother half." And she said, "Oh, thank God, this was the best night of my life." Taking kids to the Dodger game, they've never been to Dodger Stadium. Taking kids to the Getty. Things that most of us take for granted and inspire them. One of my favorites was we took the photos that these kids took as part of the program that they were part of and display them at the Turner Gallery at Bergamon Station and sell them. And I bought a photo, big size, blew up, from each one of these kids and put it all over my law firm. And now it's all over Blank Rome, to support these kids and what they were doing. That's what's really important. Or we had kids 5 years old to 17 in an orchestra, and they got to perform with Aloe Black. I mean, Aloe Black. Speaking of which, if you watch his video of his most famous song, it's all about immigrants. And as Kate said, I am the chair of the Board of Public Counsel. And right now, protecting immigrants is a big focal part of what we do. I'm going to show my true colors here. I'm a rabid Democrat. Every single one of us is an immigrant. Whether it's you or your parents or your grandparents, at WTF, what is going on in this country? If you're afraid to go to the grocery store or to church because you're afraid ICE is going to show up. So when Kate says, when Huda says, you got to give back to the community and take care of your community and be involved in your community, that's what this is all about, and that's why I'm here today. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Stacy. Our next award recipient. Okay, so when I was practicing this, I started crying, but it's going to be great. Mayor Elen has done a lot of great work in her tenure as mayor. When I was going over what I wanted to write on her award, and I don't live in Glendale, so I don't follow everything, but we've both experienced many of the great things she's done. However, during the LA fires, you were on Instagram like every hour, all night long it felt like, and every time I saw you, I just felt so like led, like I just felt like you were the leader that I needed to see. You made me feel more confident and more like I knew you were on top of it, and so we specifically wrote on. Do you hear Rita?
Yes. GPN and Help LA is proud to award you for exceptional leadership in public service and unwavering commitment to your community during the LA fires and beyond.
Please welcome Mayor Elen.
Thank you. Or are we here? I'm going to hide this behind.
No.
Yeah? Oh, okay. Well, I'll tell you that when I first got the email for this event, I actually didn't look at the details. I didn't even know I was being honored. One of my best friends actually texted me saying, "Hey, you're getting honored?" And I was like, I am. And I think some of us that, our inboxes are full and our calendars are full with it. All I saw was like women and girls in the subject line. Didn't even read the rest of the email. And staff also knows that anything that has women and girls in there, I will always make time for. And I say that because I recognize that while we've made a lot of headway in this space, there's a lot of work to do. I take immense pride in being the first Armenian woman, the first immigrant woman at 41. Thank you. At 41, the youngest woman to serve on the city council. But every time I say that, there really is a dagger that goes through my heart, because I recognize that that's not where we should be as a society in 2025. And how we use our space to move policies and programming for women and girls in that direction. And it's not going to just magically happen on its own. I'm standing in front of you after a very, very tough week on my city council, where I had proposed for us to expand our Women's Commission. We currently have $0 from our $1.27 billion budget going to women and girls programming. And while we agreed to expand them on paper, and we'll wait for the budget session, this is the second year in a row that I'm putting this forward. There was conversations about $36,900 to bring in a staffer that can oversee this, which was shut down. So when I say we have work to do in this space, I would say that regardless of whether you're in politics or in your corporate world or medicine, wherever you may be, if I had a message to women, and I think that's where it was kind of hurting more as the meeting was going forward, was get out of your text threads. Text threads are a great place to build support and emotional support and talk to each other. But if you don't actually create a plan and step out of that text thread and convert that conversation into action, we're not going to be able to move the ball forward, right? And so as this discussion was happening on the council, and there were plenty of women and girls watching, that my phone was blowing up during that time, saying, I can't believe this is happening, I can't believe this is the conversation, the number of women that were in my phone versus where they were on the council, at the council meeting, was a vast difference. So if we're not speaking up and taking up spaces, then how do we expect others that are not fighting our fight to help carry us and to help support us, right? I know we talk about all the time about not giving up. This is one of those moments where, I don't get to pack my bags and go home and say, well, we lost that cause and, here we are. You figure out how you're gonna do this strategically for the next time, right? And how you're gonna build a movement towards that to get that support for them. Because when we say supporting programming for women and girls, for some people it might be a concept, but when I look at numbers like almost 600 domestic violence calls annually in my city, I can either be spending that money to hire police officers to respond to that call, or I can create programs that give women and girls the tools to get out of those situations or to build relationships. So we have our small business summit that we've been doing. This is going to be our third year. And one of the big elements of that has also been how we empower our women-owned businesses. And I see our state treasurer, Fiona, is here. And there's so many resources out there for women-owned businesses, but many don't know how to navigate the process, and they don't even know that these programs exist. So I think it's up to each of us to not only support events like this and exchange information, but figure out how we're there for each other beyond these events, and to actually answer the call, whether you're in West Hollywood or you're in Glendale or LA, because all of that has ripple effects. And I'll say that even when we're talking about immigrant communities, my family moved to Glendale when we were 10, or when I was 10, and I always talk about language barriers, especially right now when they're talking about diversity and inclusion as something that you're not supposed to do. And I mean, it's beyond me, but I'm gonna bring it full circle back to the fires, because the multilingual outreach has been something that I've been very heavy on the council, because Glendale is actually home to the largest immigrant population in California, more than Los Angeles. Over 53% of our residents are foreign born. But what that means is during things like the fires, it's a matter of life and death. So if we didn't have multilingual outreach and information being pushed out to our community, how is an immigrant community supposed to follow the directions that we're giving, or to safeguard themselves or their families, right? This is real talk, real time, in a time of crisis. And so, you know, I'll definitely say the videos that I was doing, I think one of the most ridiculous things that came out of that process was, you know, when you're in the midst of fires, I don't care what my hair looks like or what my makeup looks like. But I had put notifications on even things like The Ring and Nextdoor. And if I saw 10 or 15 people starting to talk about something, I would go on Instagram and say, hey, this is what the details are. This is where the fire is. Because recognizing that in that moment, what you need to do is provide as much information and accurate information, not behind some podium, but be one with your people, right? And providing that information in real time actually kept our city very calm and people actually following those directions. But the most ridiculous part of it all was, you know, some individuals that came in my DMs and said, can you fix your hair? Or can you put your makeup? I'm like, you know, if you care about a mayor putting makeup on and fixing their hair, you know, may that be the biggest problem that you have in your life, right? And so I'm going to wrap it up with saying, I think to date, even women, and even women in leadership positions, checking ourselves and our unconscious biases on how we interact with women leaders or women and girls versus even men in leadership positions, because the difference is there. And a lot of times it's actually a learning opportunity. I've been doing this with my colleagues a lot, where sometimes it doesn't require a fight. It requires a human conversation to say, hey, you did this, I don't think you even realized what you did, right? And I think when you come from a place of compassion in hoping to create that bridge, it actually leaves a lot of room for dialogue and for people to actually correct their behavior. People don't know what they don't know, and it's not a matter of creating a more sensitive, you know, space, or me being sensitive about things, or any woman or girl being sensitive. It's about individuals recognizing that each of their words and actions actually have an impact, and we really do have different blinders on depending on who's in front of us. So thank you so much for this honor, and I hope that when we say don't give up, because we're stronger when we're together. Thank you.
This one? Okay. This one? Okay, well now, this is Keni Silva time. I wanted personally to be here, and hi, Keni. Hi. So Keni right here has been supporting me like from the beginning when I was just starting GPN. And today it's an honor for me like to stand next to you. And Keni is a philanthropist. She's a big advocate for women, and she's also for women navigating divorce. And today, GPN and Help LA is proud to award you for compassionate leadership in philanthropy and dedicated advocacy for women navigating divorce.
Thank you so much.
Well, hello, everyone. First of all, I want to say the women before me were absolutely spectacular. I didn't know I was supposed to be talking for 10 minutes, but thank God I know how to talk. And I'm not just honored to be here, and I'm not a mayor, I'm not an attorney, I'm just a woman who one day woke up and said, you know what? I think I'm not happy with my life, and I want to do something. And it was the scariest time to admit to myself that my picture perfect life that I spent 15 years I was building, it was not enough. I lost myself. And it was the beginning of my journey that finding who I was at 38 and what I want to do and how I want to impact. And I realized that a beautiful house in Newport Beach would not do it for me. So I got divorced, and it led me to writing a book, Divorce as an Opportunity. I didn't want divorce to be the end. It was actually the beginning. It was rebirth. And I learned so many things from how to be prepared financially, how to be mentally, what to say to your children, how to start all over. That's the most important thing that a lot of, unfortunately, women or men, they're so fixated on the grief that they forget that you have to shift your mindset to the future and start preparing. Use a divorce time as a college time to prepare. And things, with time, they heal, but don't waste your time. Time is so precious. The past is gone. You're not guaranteed tomorrow. All you have is now. So use it wisely. A couple years ago, my daughter was diagnosed with adrenal tumor, and that's what made me realize that life is precious. And that started, for me, was the beginning for my philanthropic work. I'm on the board of COSF for pediatric cancer. And that's when when your child is sick and you cannot help them, that's when you know that, nothing in life really matters besides health for your children. And in these moments, you want to start doing something. You realize that there's so much to be done. And that's why I'm so proud of you, Huda, exactly what you said. We met a couple years ago. It was just my journey, the beginning of my journey and yours, in seeing you grow this beautiful community of women who not just compete, they actually support, which is amazing. It's really hard to find in the heart of Hollywood that women actually supporting each other. They're not competing, but there is light for all of us, ladies. And together we are much, much stronger. I promise you that. There is sunshine for all of us. And thank you so much. I'm truly honored. Truly.
Okay, thank you so much, Keni. Our next award is going to be accepted by one woman, but it's for a group of women at Los Angeles Venture Association. And I'd like to bring up Amy Wood to say a few words about what lava is. Oh, why'd you change it? On my side it says lava. There we go. All right, so on behalf of Help LA and GPN, for championing women in the venture ecosystem through mentorship, education, and community building, we give this award to Women at Lava, accepted by Amy Wood.
Thank you so much. Sorry. There we go. Okay, and my remarks here, I'll hide them in the back.
And then after you speak, you'll introduce Alicia.
I will.
All right, there you go.
Actually, I have my remarks written down. Public speaking is not mine either, but thank you, GPN. Thank you, Hoda and Kate, for this beautiful event, and especially for this recognition of Women at Lava. Hi, everybody. I'm Amy Wood, and I serve on the Lava board and am a Women at Lava committee member. It's an honor for me to be here to accept this award on behalf of the amazing team that makes Women at Lava worthy of such a distinction. For those of you who aren't familiar with Lava, we are LA's Venture Association. Lava was founded in 1985 on the inspiration of Robert Redford. Perhaps you've heard of him. When two of his lawyers, also angel investors, lamented that they were having trouble syndicating deals. Robert responded to them, well, why don't you create an organization just like I did? What he was referring to was the Sundance Institute and now the now renowned Sundance Film Festival. Thus, the Lava Venture Club was formed to be the Sundance of the LA angel investor community. Jumping ahead 40 years, today, Lava supports the entire ecosystem of startup founders, investors, research institutions. I personally, my full-time day job is at Pepperdine Grazie-Dio Business School. So we are one of those institutions, and supporters with an emphasis on venture capital, family offices, and high net worth and ultra high net worth individuals. Within Lava, We have a focus areas, or communities as we call them, 14 in all, such as Lava Bio, Lava Space, and Global Lava. Flip my page. It may not come as a surprise to all in this room that one of the oldest communities is Women at Lava, with deep and impactful roots. We are led by 2 co-chairs, each a star in her own right, of course, but this award really belongs to our co-chair, Laura Nix-Gerson. Laura could not join us today, unfortunately. If she were here, I know that she wouldn't be standing before you bragging about herself. However, this circumstance allows me to do that on her behalf. Laura Nix-Gerson is a multi-talented, she is an extreme networker, right? We've all talked about the power of community today, and an incredible powerhouse. Beyond being the co-chair of Women at Lava, she runs her own media company, Nix-Gerson Media. She created a platform designed to help women grow their wealth while investing alongside women in women-led funds and investing in women-led companies called Venture F. What I find most impressive about Laura is her ability to create so many relevant and meaningful experiences for a widely diverse range of women, lifting us all. Laura is the embodiment of the Venture F tagline, "The future is female." Yes. Thank you. I'm just going to say I'm humbled to accept this award on Laura's behalf.
We're very proud that we have a star from Lava who is a breakout star in Venture, but because you are much more familiar with her work and have been working with her, I'm going to have you introduce her, but I'm very excited that she's here.
All right. So with that, we're going to cue the next slide. Fantastic. All right, great. Thank you. So thank you for giving me the opportunity to introduce our next speaker, Alicia Hanf. Alicia was nominated for this award by Lava's executive director, Darren Ng. And meaning Lava's first interaction with Alicia, she's going to welcome up here in just a second, was when she was working for our advisory board member, Baron Davis. I'm going to brag about you for a minute, too. She was working for our VC advisory board member, Baron Davis. Perhaps you know him. He's an LA native, a UCLA and NBA basketball all-star, that guy. But in addition, he's also a broad investor in the LA ecosystem. So Alicia quickly spun out from Baron to form her own fund, the Dear Mama Fund, inspired by her mother, started shortly after COVID. Combining the acumen that she built while working with Baron with her prior experience at Bunker Labs, a veteran-focused incubator, Alicia, herself a veteran, let's give it up for that, right? She became a magnetic force. Resourceful and resilient, she built a network of sophisticated investors across LA's venture ecosystem and beyond. Her work on the Dear Mama Fund led her next to where she is today, which is bringing corporate venture capital, or CVC as some call it, from a force the likes of LG to Los Angeles. Alicia deserves this recognition for her rapid rise over the past 5 years, her service as a veteran, and her dedication to veterans, women, and the underserved, especially through venture and startup investments. So please join me in welcoming a real phenom, Alicia Hanf.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that just very heartfelt introduction. And thank you so much for having me here today. I feel so honored is an understatement, but really empowered, emboldened, inspired by so many women that I've shared this stage with and this moment with, because all of you, I feel like, are speaking a language that I've been speaking for so long. And so Darren, who isn't here, messaged me today, and he said, oh, by the way, we need you to give some remarks. So I wrote them down when I was in the sauna, so I'm going to read them. But again, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Alicia Hanf, and I'm incredibly honored to receive this award alongside some phenomenal and inspiring women. I'm really excited to receive this award, and it means a lot to me because, like many, as I'm hearing the stories up here, many of us didn't start off in the boardroom or on stages. But for me, myself personally, my story started in trauma. Almost 10 years ago today, I lost my mother tragically to domestic violence. She was in an abusive relationship, and when she tried to leave, the man shot and killed her. I know. Her life was stolen from us far too soon, and that loss created a fracture inside of me. But it also lit something fierce inside me as well. It was a fire and a promise to create a legacy for her and to end the tragedy, not just for herself, but for generations of women within our family. What I didn't realize back then was that I too would find myself in the grip of domestic violence, but I refused to call myself a victim, not because I wasn't one, but because I needed to believe that I could still be victorious. And that belief that I could rise above it all became the foundation of the life that I've built today. Because no matter what I faced, I've never stopped dreaming, and I've never stopped helping others build their dreams. And this is my mission, to create a world where all people, especially women and girls, can pursue their dreams, even if they've been broken, even if they've been silenced, and especially if they've been underestimated. A world where healing and ambition are not at odds with one another, but that are deeply connected and intertwined. No one has taught me more about this mission than my two daughters, Jordan and Stevie. They are my greatest motivation and my greatest joy. They've seen me fall, they've seen me fail, they've seen me rebuild and rise again. They've become my greatest support system and my grounding force, and my inspiration to keep choosing hope, especially when things felt impossible. Jordan and Stevie, you've taught me how to see good in the world, especially when I couldn't see it for myself. You remind me daily that the future is worth fighting for, and that love can be healing, and that leading from the heart is real leadership. My mother used to say to me growing up, shoot for the moon, and even if you miss, you'll land amongst the stars. Some of you have heard that. What I realize now as an adult is that she wasn't just giving me permission to dream big. She was giving me permission to fail and try again and again. And I think we need more of that in the world today. We live in a world that often demands perfection on the first try, but that's not how real growth works. Dreams are messy. For anyone in here who's an entrepreneur, you know dreams are messy. For anyone who's ever had to pick themselves up from a heartbreak, you know that healing is non-linear. And for those of us who are successful in any aspect of life, we understand that success is a series of reinventions. So if I can leave you with anything today, it's this. Don't wait to be perfect to begin. I'm going to say that louder for the people in the back. Don't wait to be perfect to begin. Don't let your past and your pain convince you that your story has to end where it started. And don't you dare shrink your dreams to fit someone else's idea of what's possible or what's perfect. Not today, not on my watch. So keep dreaming, as so many women have said up here today. Keep dreaming, keep doing, most importantly, keep building. Reinvent yourselves as many times as it takes, because when you rise, you give permission for others to rise too. And when you build a life that's rooted in truth, healing, and vision, you don't only change your story, but you change the world. So I stand here today in front of all of you, surviving, really, standing here against all odds, as a single mother, as a woman of color, as a military veteran, and as someone who's, thank you. That's right. And as someone who's lived through a lifetime of trauma and still chooses to live, to lead, and to love. For the past several years, my mantra has been against all odds, which is lyrics from the legendary Tupac Shakur. It is, it is a reminder, I'm from LA, born and raised. Okay, we gotta have a little Tupac in here somewhere. I start crip walking, but the carpet is red. Okay, that's for another time. All right, but for the past several years, that's been my mantra, against all odds. It is a reminder that even when everything says you shouldn't be here, and I'm gonna say this again for all of us who felt like we're in these rooms and we're the only one that looks like us and we don't belong, when everything says you shouldn't be here, you show up anyway, you lead anyway, and you dream anyway. Let's keep building a world where every person, especially every woman, has the freedom to heal, to try, to fail, and to get up and try again. A world where we give each other permission to rise against all odds. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you so much, Alicia. So thank you all for your attention and listening to everyone speak. I think everyone's just delivering compelling speeches and it's keeping your attention. I know this is long. We only have one more, but she's a very special final keynote speaker. We're beyond grateful that she came from Sacramento here just for this. Wow. And probably she'll do other things in LA too, because LA is very important and she'll be going all around. Fiona is more than, she's not just here because she's our treasurer. She's here because we are very excited to support her in her, can I say for lieutenant? To become our next lieutenant governor of California. She has broken the boundaries for many things in the categories she's in around finance and women, and we're so excited. She's purpose-driven, results-driven. Please welcome Fiona Ma, our treasurer of California. Other way.
Can we read it?
Oh, read it, yes.
GPN and Help LA is proud to award you for principled leadership and steadfast commitment to building a stronger, more prosperous California.
Thank you so much. Let's give it up for Dr. Kate and Huda. Sorry. I actually saw Huma on a video yesterday, so I apologize as she was inspiring us, with everything that she has gone through, but really just sharing stories. And that's what today is about. And I share my story, things that have happened in my past with all of the awardees here today. But just a little bit about myself. I am the oldest daughter of immigrant parents. My parents were born in China, left at an early age, immigrated to Hong Kong, met at a church picnic in Canada, and decided to settle down in New York, where I was born and raised. So again, growing up, like many of us, our parents tell us education, education, education. So I was good at math, and so my parents wanted us to be one of the lead professions, lawyer, engineer, accountant, or a doctor. I was good at math, so I'm an accountant. My brother's an engineer like my dad. My sister is a doctor. We were just missing a lawyer in the house, but lawyers are probably the most important profession these days, as I am learning as I get older. So I went to RIT for accounting, did 2 paid internships with one of the big 8 accounting firms. I'm dating myself now, in the trust and estate department. And they offered me a job in Manhattan. I was really excited. But by this time, my parents decided to move to San Francisco because they wanted more diversity. And so back then, as many of you know, San Francisco, it's kind of a sleepy town. Nobody goes out late, restaurants are closed, and I was not really happy moving to California. I decided to interview again, stay with Ernst & Winnie in the real estate tax group. And after 5 years, decided to quit and start my own practice because there was no one that looked like me in leadership at the time. So when I started my own practice at the age of 28 years old, I became president of a small business association. And it really resonated with me because so many of us come to this country and we have degrees and professions in our home life, our hometown country. But when we get here, we cannot practice. And so what do? We start a small business. And as a small business owner myself, I started to understand how difficult it is, not only filing your taxes, which I did a lot of, but also the regulations and the rules and just all the bureaucracy that comes with having your own business. So that's really what propelled me into public service, is helping women and minority business owners gain more contracting opportunities at the federal, state, and local level. I started lobbying the San Francisco Board of Supervisors, went to Sacramento to testify, got involved in the White House Conference on Small Business under Bill Clinton in 1995, and I started to understand that politicians play a very important role. Number one, they allocate the money. As we can see what's happening today, that job is very important. They also make the rules, sign the bills, create the regulations, appoint certain people, and all of this affects all of us every single day. So it took about 8 years before I ran for office. That's because my parents did not want me to give up accounting and run for politics. You don't even need a GED to run for politics, okay? This is the secret, right? But I wanted to serve and I wanted to help people like Abbe and make a difference. And I finally ran for the San Francisco Board of Supervisors in 2002 against 7 other individuals. I did get elected. It wasn't easy. San Francisco politics is like the game show Survivor. Then I finally left and, ran for the state assembly, and I got elected there, Speaker Pro Tem when I left. Then the State Board of Equalization as your friendly tax collector, and then got elected as treasurer and re-elected in 2022. I'm the only woman of color to ever hold this position, and the only second CPA since 1849. But I haven't lost yet. I've been on the ballot 20 times. I'm running again, another office for lieutenant governor. Why do I do this? I get paid $170,000 for being the banker of the 5th largest economy. $3.7 trillion comes into my office. My short-term portfolio is about $200 billion. I issue all the bonds for the state of California and fund everything from housing to schools to roads to public transportation, small businesses, green energy, advanced manufacturing, and the likes. And why do I love this job? Not only because my father is finally proud of me, and not bugging me to go back and do people's taxes. I never thought that that was my calling in life. And number 2, because this great state, California, is worth fighting for. We speak over 200 languages here in the state of California. We embrace diversity, equity, and inclusion. We believe in those 3 letters, ESG, right? The environment, social, and governance. These are the principles that make California the 5th largest economy. If we were our own nation, it would be the US, China, Japan, Germany, and California, okay? So we have to remember that when other people are attacking us, even our federal government is threatening us. We need to come together, stand together, support each other, lift each other up, and make sure that we weather this storm. How are we going to do that? We need to make sure that we keep jobs and businesses here in California. We need to attract investors to come and invest. And as government officials, we need to be more creative. We need to think outside the box. We cannot tell our people it's always been that way. Status quo is not acceptable. So I'm going to do my job to fight. When we talk about these deficits, that keeps me up at night. That means I have to go try to find more money and pots of money and creatively try to, backfill many of the cuts that may be coming that is going to hurt our most vulnerable. And to be in a room with all of you, you're all so compassionate and giving and understanding, and you love California as much as I do. We need to stick together, because together we will keep this state the golden state. So thank you, everyone, for everything you're doing. And Dr. Kate, to these amazing, powerful women, leaders. Is she here? Alicia? Oh, okay. Sorry. Alicia.
We'll fix it.
Oh, sorry. Okay. To these amazing women, let's give them a round of applause. Leaders, mentors, sheroes, we all owe you a debt of gratitude for everything that you're doing.
Thank you so much. All right. Thank you so much, Fiona. Thank you so much. All right, you guys, we are concluded with the speaking portion. We just want to do a special thanks to our amazing PR team, Diana, Kelly, and Lindsay. I don't know if you're here, but everyone who is here knows one of them. If you want to come up and just show everyone who you are. No? You want to? I wanted to give her a recognition award, but she refused.
Thank you all for coming. Louder. Thank you all for coming. Thank you. This was such a team effort, and it kind of all started. Fiona Ma, thank you very much, Secretary Treasurer for the state of California. She writes the checks, guys. So if you want to meet her, her publicist is over here, Ling. Raise your hand, Ling. And if you want to get something funded, she's the check writer. And I just want to say thank you, Dr. Kate and Huda. They put something together in the last couple weeks. Give them a hand, because whatever they did was amazing. And all of our vendors downstairs, our pizza, our salt, our saunas, our jewelry, the what? The raffle. The raffle. By the way, we have a raffle. Raffle tickets, right, are at the front. So put your hands up. They're only $5, and these are great opportunities for us. What were you going to say, Edith?
Just to tell them about the raffle.
The raffle, $5. So there you go.
Any of the products.
Any of the products, yeah, they're all valuable. And you were saying something? The tequila. Tequila.
Thank you, Maribel and Miriam, who are dedicated volunteers working the raffle booth. No,
Come.
okay, come if you want.
Come up.
Okay, and also I want to thank all our sponsors for making this event possible, and our main sponsors. Please come. I want you guys to come over, please. One's Collection, please come over. Our diamond sponsor, I'm wearing one of their pieces. And also AYC Capital. Brian, please. Come. We want to take a picture with all of you, and thank you so much for your support. These are our main sponsors. Thank you. No, I want to take a little picture. Just close. Okay. Oh my God. She's. Okay, I guess we'll take it later.
We're concluding now. Thank you guys all so much. And if the speakers would just hang out to take one more picture, and then please mingle, socialize, network, connect. Remember why you came here today and decided to take a risk and come out when you could have stayed home. So thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. We're so grateful. Thank you.